Well, the juniper is back out into the sun with its cohorts out here, including this bald cypress that will literally be chopped. This is what the juniper looked like after its trimming in July. Here's the way it looked yesterday on the 14th of November. This is the way it looks today on the 15th of November.
Business of dormancy. And the question I have is, well, is that important? And the answer is, yeah. It's down here, not the black pine, but the white pine. They like cold weather. They have to have cold weather. They have to take a long winter's nap where temperatures are below freezing for a good period of time. We can't reproduce that easily here, and we don't want to reproduce that easily here in Central Florida. So you will not see a lot of collections with white pines in them here in Central Florida as a result. Black pines, they love warmth, we can do it. Junipers are very adaptable plants. There's a few that won't do it here because the altitude's low or the temperatures aren't cold enough. But most junipers, that's why they're so popular as bonsai, because they're pretty forgiving, they're pretty flexible. You can shape them and mold them and do all you want with the foliage and do all kinds of different styles. That's why junipers are so popular as they are. And there are some that thrive here in Florida. Just look in everybody's yard, around their hedges and stuff, they'll have junipers growing here or there, and they'll grow forever. They can live thousands of years. Some junipers can live thousands, certainly hundreds, if you treat them right. They can also die in a day if you don't treat them right.
Today's subject is winter care for junipers and pines, hosted by Dave of Juniper Bonsai, also of the Cypress Lakes Bonsai Club. Here's a few pictures of the club members as we're meeting for our monthly meeting in November on the 14th. And here's some of the trees people brought in to work on and some of the raffle items. And now on with the
3, 4, 5. But eventually you're going to get weaker and weirder and wonkier, and eventually stuff's going to start affecting you. You're going to get sick, and then you'll perish eventually if you don't sleep. You've got to have sleep. Our conifers, our junipers, our pines, they've got to have rest. So here in Florida, we got to figure out how to do that. And some of the things that we do to kind of help them with their dormancy is usually, mostly, generally, we stop feeding them. We don't give them the stuff to keep them up at night. We let them take their rest. They still need sunlight, but I try to adjust the sunlight back a little bit, and I keep them in colder part of my garden if I can, which is usually the north side of the house, so they get indirect light, sort of speaking. But I'm letting them rest. It can be 6 weeks or 8 weeks and be good. Here in Florida, I can think of almost no condition where you need to bring them in because of temperature. The colder it gets, we get a night where it's going to drop into the 20s, great. Watch your pots. Watch how much moisture you have in them. So if it's going to be cold long enough, yeah, you don't want the pot to crack, you don't want the roots to freeze into a solid block. But that's a very rare concern here in where we live. We might get a few hours below a certain temperature, but I wouldn't worry about my junipers too much for that. The smaller, probably not going to be an issue. If it is going to be an issue, we'll be talking, all of us. Hey guys, look out, it's going to be in the teens or something. So we want them to go dormant. They've got to go dormant. If they don't go dormant, you're going to have problems. Maybe not immediately, but it will catch up with you. So try to help your trees rest.
So Dave.
Well, it's the next day. Today's the 15th of November. And as you can see by the little sign there, this juniper was originally styled on February 16th of this year. And then lime sulfured on the 22nd. And then it was trimmed again in July 18th, 2024. As you can see, it's quite bushy and still needs more trimming, getting ready to plan its future of being repotted into this tokonomi pot behind us. So let's get on with it. Good morning, everybody. Today we'll be getting into trimming this up a little bit more. And then we're going to take and wire down some of the branches with cables. They'll be thin wires, but well, this is going to be a slow process as to how I do this, and so I'll be speeding up the film. Well, here we go. Speeding up, removing this branch, that branch, trying to tidy up the tree so that we can see the shari and the gins. And that means eliminating some foliage. This is the third time of the year that it's been done. It was done in February, it was done in July, and now in November. And I'm hoping that it won't require this much trimming next year. Come February next year, I will be putting it into the pot that I showed a little bit earlier, and trying not to cut too many of the roots. And I probably won't trim it at all in that particular day, just the roots, and getting it into that new pot. My main focus here was eliminating everything that was growing straight up, and that really took what little bit of top I had left off, and I'm hoping it'll regrow, and hoping it'll actually kind of come up to meet where my hand is showing here. Yeah, it's a little fast, but there it is. This next procedure incorporates wire going up and pulling down the branches rather than wire the branch. There is one branch that I want to wire, but most of them I'm just going to pull down and use that technique. Actually going to try to pull them a little bit further down than they actually need to go, and that way it'll show me where I need to do some more trimming and so on. Here's the juniper all trimmed up and wired down. You notice the cabling of the branches, pulling it down to the plastic pot. I trimmed up the top quite heavy. My hope is that it'll fill in. And by the way this juniper has been growing, I'm pretty sure it will. Well, the juniper is back out into the sun with its cohorts out here.